Today let's look at Non Posso Disperar by DeLuca. It's a class 1 solo on the Texas UIL PML. When you first start off this song, you need to think, what does the audience normally remember about this song? And it's the first phrase. Measure 1 and 2, and then again you have it in measure 5 and 6 slightly different. And that's what people remember about this solo. Measures 1 through 20 is repeated as measures 37 to the end. So it's pretty important that you get those correct. So let's look at measures 1 and 2. Too many times I see students who keep everything way too closed and they're too afraid to let their sound go out to their audience, out to the audience, out. It's supposed to go out to your audience. So what ends up happening is something like this. Your sound's not supported. You're not singing with your belly and you're not giving your sound to the audience. The other problem I see is a huge register shift at the end of measure 2. So where you sound really pretty, then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I've got to drop my jaw so that I can get that leap down. And it has a really weird register shift sound to it. Non posso disperar. Really jarring separation there. So what you want to do is in everything that you sing, especially in these classic Italian aria songs, you want to make sure that you have a nice smooth line without any bumps along the way. So getting rid of those bumps and smoothing that out will really help you out. Make sure your tongue is relaxed, touching all your bottom teeth. The tongue also is kind of a bowl shape in the back so that you have lots of space back here. That will really help you navigate that line and keep that smooth line going. Non posso disperar. And practice that. Over and over again, really get that. The next part that I see a lot of times is in measures 5 and 6, but it's really the transition in measure 6, going right off of non posso disperar to the se troppo, se troppo. So you have se troppo, and it's supposed to be 8th notes. So what you end up getting, well, what I end up hearing a lot of times from students is the non posso disperar, se troppo ca. Do you hear that jarring difference between a pretty sound and then they're not quite sure how to go back down to the middle register? And that all stems from nice relaxed tongue, nice space in the back. So practice that. Se troppo, se troppo, se troppo. Look at measure 10 and 11. If you notice, you have a crescendo in measure 10 to measure 11, and then you have forte with a crescendo and a ritardando, and then it's suddenly pianissimo in measure 11, where you have se troppo caraca non and then you go back to forte. Nice fluid line there. Make sure that you really have the melody line down before you start really working on some of the aspects of the middle section. If you look in measure 32, you have a larger leap. The higher note at the end of measure 32, make sure that's nice and open and relaxed. Too many times I hear students attempt to hit that note rather than sing that note. So going from pickups to 32 into measure 33 with that high section, this is what I hear a lot. Hear that huge, they hit that note. They're like, yeah, I got that note. But it doesn't matter if you have that note if it's completely completely out of context. Remember, nice, smooth lines. The other one is measure 35. It's the same thing, but in this one, right after you have your forte on the higher note, and you're like, yeah, I get to sing loud on this high note. Right after, it's pianissimo, sudden shift. And you can practice by starting just in measure 35, just singing on a buzz, then adding just a neutral syllable. Then you add the words to it. So the pickups to measure 35. Remember, you can always switch back to a neutral syllable or on a buzz to work a certain section that's giving you trouble. There's no shame in that in your practice. And then adding the words back in and getting that pronunciation right.